Hello guys, welcome to another lesson in the Python Programming for Beginners series. In this video, we'll be talking about loops. What is a loop or what are loops? A loop allows you to repeatedly execute a block of code as long as a certain condition is met or for a specified number of iterations. The keyword is repeatedly. A loop allows you to repeatedly execute a block of code, and there are two primary types of loops in Python. We have the for loop, the second primary type of loop. We'll be talking about that in our subsequent videos. So in this video, we'll be concentrating majorly on for loop. For loop allows you to iterate over a sequence of lists. Just for example, as we have this list here, we have list of items. We have item 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So a for loop allows you to iterate over each items in this list, and then you perform whatever operation you want to perform on each of the list. The syntax for loops goes by: we have a for keyword, then you represent each item in that list with a variable, just like we have list of items here, so we can say item, and then you have in, so after him then you have the name of the list. Here we have list of items, so we can say list of items. Then we have our colon. After the colon, then you have the block of code that you want to execute in the loop. So let's say block of code to be executed in the loop. This is just the simple outline of the for loop syntax. You have the for keyword, then you have a variable that is standing for each of the list item, and then you have the name of the list. So inside of the for block, then you have the code to be executed. Alright, we can have a simple example here. So we have our for loop here already defined. We can just easily print each item in the list of items list. So to print that, you have the print keyword as ever, then you have our item, which is the variable that is standing for each of the list items. Alright, so if we run this now, you can simply run this here. Then, so as you can see, we have item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, and item 5. All the items are printed. Loops execute in such a way that, as we can see in line 3 here, the list is defined and it's assigned to the variable of list of items. Then we get to the for loop. In the first iteration of the loop, this item variable is standing for this first item A. Then inside of the for loop, we have this line of code to be executed. You can perform several operations inside of the block of code. As well, we can also print the length of the item. You can print the length of each item. You can perform whatever operations inside of the loop. You run this again. So you see item 1 has 5 characters, same as 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can perform as many operations you want to perform in the loop. Let's do this and this. Okay. After executing the block of code inside of the loop, then the loop goes back to the top again. Then the variable item is now assigned to item 2. Then these codes are executed. After finishing executing, it goes back to the top again and assign this item variable to item 3. Then it goes on and on like that. Alright, we can perform same operation for the days of the week list that I commented out here. So we can comment this. Alright, so we have the for loop followed by the variable that is to be assigned to each item in the list. So we can call this day, since we are dealing with days of the week, followed by the in keyword, and then we have the name of our list. Days of the week, we have our colon. So inside of the for loop that is marked by your indentation, you don't start the code block at the same level as the for loop. You start it inside. You can get that with your tab or your space. Alright, so here you write whatever action you want to perform on each of the items. You can easily print each of the item which is represented with the date variable. Okay, so we can save this and print this. Right, so as you can see, just as I explained earlier, at the beginning of the iteration, the date variable is assigned to the first item in the list. So the first item now is Sunday. So Sunday will be printed. After finishing executing the block of code, then the loop goes back to the top of the code, and then the day variable is now assigned to Monday. The Monday will be printed. After executing this, it goes back to the top. So that is all about loops. Loops is used for repeatedly executing a block of code. Alright, that's that for loops. I will see you in the next lesson.